over to the top five segment this week where, man, oh man, we're going to be talking about top five films that got us excited. And we're going to be telling you the reasons why, whether that be future franchises, whether that be the future of cinema in general, theater going experiences, all these different things. This was a fun list to come up with because I went back and tried to think about all the different films and about the different experiences that I had either in theaters or with at home having conversations with Emily about the film. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. So what do you think was the approach to this top five? I mean, it was very interesting because I picked mine in different reasons and for different ways. So I'm curious to hear your approach about picking your list.
So I went about first when you first said the topic, I was like, what excitement about what? I was like, but then I put together my list and I picked films that I got really excited about, the return of something, hopeful that something hasn't vanished, where we're headed. Those are the type films that I picked. I was, as a filmmaker, worried that we were losing certain genres or certain styles of genres, or that, not just losing, but maybe already dead. And then these films excited me oh, no, we're still there. We still can do this. And they can still be successful and we can do that. So that's kind of how I approached it. I really took and picked films that fired me up about, I was wrong. Look at this, kind of that's how I went with it.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of along the same boat. But my number five goes to a recent one, and I'm talking about Superman. The recent Superman. David Cornsweet, James Gunn milking it for all he can. Man, oh man, with all these freaking promotional videos. I love it, though, because I think it keeps reminding people why they got excited about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, all the behind-the-scenes stuff has been amazing. But Superman really got me excited because I had kind of swore off the DC universe, right? I liked the television shows. I liked Titans. I watched Green Arrow, but I didn't watch any of the other Arrowverse stuff. And I know it was all completely separate from everything else. And I love the Batman with Robert Pattinson. But I mean, the Snyderverse just wasn't it for me, and everything they built around it, like with Black Adam. And I mean, the first Shazam was all right. I've heard the second one was awful, but I mean, like I said, there was just so many misses to where I just wasn't excited anymore. And I never was a Superman fan before going into this movie, but this movie gave me hope. It gave me justice. It gave me the American way, and it made me realize, and obviously I already did, but it made me reinforce my realization that if my feelings are hurt, I should be able to say why. Yes, because I'm human. But yeah, I mean, Superman, it did a lot for me, and it made me actually fall in love with the character. David Cornsweet did amazing. James Gunn did amazing. So yeah, I'm super excited about the future of the DC universe because of Superman. My number five.
Yeah, it's on my list as well, so I will dive into my thoughts on it when we get there. My number five, also a superhero movie. And it's funny, it's not on my list because of anything to do with superheroes. Wait, what? My number five is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And the reason this one got me so freaking excited as a filmmaker, as a creator, as a storyteller, is because I have long, I'm a true cinephile, guys. I am a historian of the industry, of where it came from, of where it started. And, no secret for us that Disney's one of our favorite studios, has always been one of our favorite. That studio was literally built on animation. And I felt like after the success of Pixar, everybody shifted. Everybody was like, we've got to make it look like Pixar. We've got to have this 3D full animation. We lost the art of, in my opinion, 2D animation. It became all about, if it doesn't look like Pixar, we ain't making it. We all had to come up with our own design that wasn't Pixar, but would sell like Pixar, kind of a thing. So when Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse hit, I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and as awesome and epic as the story is, and I'm loving every aspect of the story and the multiverse and all the things that they're doing, but it was the breathtaking animation, the way they merged old school 2D with new computer generated graphics, and then new styles of animation that you hadn't seen before blended so seamlessly into this story, and that got me fired up. That's like, animation is not dead. It isn't all Pixar look, it isn't we can still do 2D. We can do, all these, and the bright, vivid, bold colors and the use of that animation and interweaving to tell a story just got me fired up, man. And I'm like, yeah. And now we're seeing it. We're seeing it a little bit at the box office where they're transitioning back to 2D animation, where it's not all Pixar-esque looking, and we're seeing some success with those animated movies now. So, yeah, it got me really pumped. And yeah, my number 5, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Nothing to do with Spider-Man, all to do with animation.
I love that. Yeah. And the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that
Yes.
came out a couple years ago kind of did along the same leans,
Yeah,
but also did put their little twist on it. That's what happens. Everybody like follows and copies because they respect it and they enjoy it.
that's right.
That's the entertainment industry, and that's okay. My number 4 goes to The Wild Robot. Family films, family animated films, like, kids films, there for a while, like, Pixar was missing so much. DreamWorks wasn't really coming out with anything that was new and original. I mean, they came out with Puss in Boots 2 that
Right.
was very successful, but of course that's a spin-off of the Shrek franchise.
That's
So
right.
like a lot of family-friendly kids films just were not hitting. I don't know if that was just because I was an adult and wasn't feeling that anymore. I mean, Disney, of course, with Inside Out 2, that's an exception, but like we always expect Disney to do well in that space because
Right.
that's their space. They own that space. But when Wild Robot came out, my number 4, I thought it was completely different, amazing storytelling, a great relationship just about parenting. And even if you're not blood related or even of the same species, you can still love this other individual, this other thing, to where you can either grow into a parent or grow into a parental figure or have that experience with somebody who is like a leadership figure or an inspiration to you in your everyday life. And I think that's what Wild Robot did for me. And it was a snub at the Academy Awards, I must say. So just putting that out there, it should have freaking won because it won everything else, all the other award shows, but not the Oscars. Tell me how that freaking makes any sense. Flo doesn't even have any words, but
Yeah.
whatever, it's
Yeah.
fine. Anyway, rant over. But I loved Wild Robot, and it made me cry. So yeah, that's why it's my number 4, and it made me excited about the future of animated storytelling, especially for kids. So yeah, my number 4, Wild Robot.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an example of like exactly what I was saying with my number 5. It wasn't all Pixar 3D looking full like it,
Mhm.
it was a nice little kind of just old school animation. And yeah, it's a great film. Great film. My number 4, and the reason this one, it's recent. I literally just saw it this week, and it got me so freaking pumped and so freaking excited. And the reason being is because there is still filmmakers out there. There are still storytellers out there that know you do not, because I felt like we fell into this trap for so long. And this movie really just fired me up to say, no, we haven't. No, we're good. And that is filmmakers that don't dumb shit down for the audience.
Yeah.
This film had you thinking the whole time, like, what the hell am I watching? And you think you have it figured out, and then you didn't. It was a nice little twist here, another little twist there. But he never tells you what to think. In fact, he makes it even more confusing by telling it to you from 4 or 5 different vantage points. That once you think you got it figured out, well, wait a minute, let me show you this guy's point of view of what happened. And then you're like, well, wait, shit, okay. And so I got really excited with Weapons. It was original, it's great storytelling, and the main reason why it fired me up is because it does not dumb it down. I was getting so tired of, over the last several years, filmmakers feeling like they had to make it literally, you might as well have just put the script on the bottom of the screen to tell the audience what you wanted them to see. And that was driving me nuts. And so to finally see films and Weapons being one of them, that says, no, I wrote this twisted, crazy, weird shit, and you figure it out. And I love that, man. So my number 4, Weapons.
It kept the audiences guessing
Oh,
too,
without doubt.
right? Like
Without
I
doubt.
think that was a big part of Weapons, and I see why everybody's been talking about it. I
Yeah,
agree, definitely one of the best films of the year.
for sure.
And I love the amount of money it made at the box office because we'll be talking about that too.
Yep.
Man, oh man. My number 3 goes to one that came out. I can't remember if it was pre-pandemic, little in the pandemic. I think it was tiny bit
Tiny. Yeah,
pre-pandemic.
yeah.
I'm talking about Honey Boy. And of course, we've talked about this extensively on the show. We love this because it's a redemption arc, basically, of the character that it was about. And we're talking about Shia LaBeouf's life story, basically, or at least this pocket moment of his life
Yep.
where he spent the summer with his dad, where his dad had to take him on auditions. And it's a touching and interesting and manipulative and wild story where even if a parental figure has their own problems, even if they have addiction issues, even if they have mental health issues, even if there's good times, if there's bad, you're always going to love your parental figure. No matter what you go through, you're always going to love that person for at least giving you life. And I feel like that's what Shia LaBeouf expressed in this film about this relationship with his father. And of course, it really hit home a lot with me. So I loved that aspect of it. But it got me excited because I felt like this is raw emotional storytelling from another childhood star, childhood actor that we talked about childhood actors last week on our top 5. But he is one that transitioned as an adult actor pretty decently. I mean, he came into obviously the Transformer franchise that was massively successful. And then, of course, he's been messing around doing his own scripts, doing other scripts. I mean, he just did Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis
Yep.
and like a whole bunch of different things. He's an actor that at points is pushed to the side by the industry, but he doesn't give up, even though he might be a little crazy. But hey, who isn't? And he admits his flaws, he accepts who he is, and he continues to build himself up as a person and continues to try to get better as a human being and as a performer. And honestly, I'm rooting for him because he shows he's human. He shows that all he can do is be himself. And he shows this in this movie, and it started from such a young age. So yeah, my number 3, Honey Boy, because Shia LaBeouf is an underdog, and we're pulling for you, buddy.
There you go. Oh, I love everything about that. Yeah, yeah. I love that kid from the first time I saw him in the Battle of Shaker Heights. I never watched him on Even Stevens or any of the Disney Plus
Yeah,
stuff. I didn't even know who he was. But Project Greenlight with
yeah.
Matt and Ben.
Holes, man. I
And
loved Holes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Battle of Shaker Heights, man. I saw that and the behind the scenes with him and his mom in the making of that movie. I was just like, whoa. This kid's deep, and he's talented, but he's messed up, and you could see it briefly in that. But yeah, just so good, so good. Good point. My number 3 is a slash. It's Oppenheimer / Sinners. Both of these movies got me fired up for the same reason, and I'm talking like really excited because I've always been a story first guy. I need story. I need dialogue. And we had lost that for a really long time. It was all special effects, blow shit up, big, boom, ah. And I felt like we had lost story. And then here comes Oppenheimer and Sinners. And these are 2 huge films that are story and dialogue driven from start to finish. And while there's a few effects in it here or there, and there's a few effects in it here or there, it's all story driven and it's all dialogue. There are scenes where it's just conversation. You're hearing about backstory. You're hearing about these what's going on in these characters' lives. You're hearing about and these filmmakers, right? Ryan Coogler and Christopher Nolan. They give me hope that filmmaking is still alive. Legit old school storytelling. And you know why I really like these 2 films? Because they're films. They were both shot on film. And this, I'm sorry, but I hope it never dies. I hope it's getting scary because Kodak's about to go out of business, and they're the last company left that actually provides film. So I don't know how that's going to work. If they go away, who's going to actually make film to give them to shoot on film? This
It's the
terrifies
IMAX
me.
cameras, man. IMAX makes specific cameras that
Yeah, so
all
it's
of these
gonna
filmmakers
all
make.
have to
Yeah.
go that range because Kodak is literally. I just saw that news break today. They don't think they're gonna survive this latest wave of bankruptcy. So
Crazy.
wow, talking about an end of an era. But I like filmmakers and storytellers that still take risk, still shoot on film. You can't just delete it. You can't just start over. It's film. That's money in the gate, and that's like, to take that risk and practical effects. You're talking about a vampire movie, but it was almost all practical effect and makeup. There wasn't a lot of over-the-top CGI shit, and neither with Oppenheimer. That fucking bomb was a real bomb they fucking blew up and shit. Like, what? Like, I just love filmmakers that are filmmakers and storytellers, and that's why those two movies, my number 3, Oppenheimer and Sinners, and God bless, we are still out here, and we are still alive. Like, yeah!
Oh, I love that. And yeah, freaking Oppenheimer, they built that whole little town out in
yeah,
the desert. Like,
yeah.
that's
It's just
insane.
unreal.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. My number 2 goes to Air. This is like a little teeny tiny bit out of the pandemic where, the only thing keeping theaters alive were big, massive blockbusters. Well, here come Ben Affleck and Matt Damon with
Yes.
their company, Artist Equity. And they're like, hey, we've got this idea. Let's talk about how we signed freaking Michael Jordan to Nike. What? What a weird idea, right? What? It was a beautiful period piece, though, that didn't even show the face of the actor that was playing Michael Jordan. I
Nope.
love that they did this. And they gathered these amazing creative individuals: Chris Tucker, Jason Bateman, Matt Damon, of course, freaking Ben Affleck directing and acting in this thing. And it blew me away. It was a period piece that had everybody along for the ride. I know Gen X, y'all were like jamming because of that
Fuck yeah,
soundtrack.
80s soundtrack, baby.
Like, it was so good. It gave me hope that stories, even after a worldwide pandemic like this, will be available at the box office. Did it do well at the box office? No, but it found a lot of money on Amazon Prime. So it was still a major success, especially for the company, and it gave me hope as a filmmaker that these stories are still willing to be put in the major theaters and box office. So that was fun. Number 2 for me, Air.
Yes, yeah, and look, I'm just gonna say it. I've long said that I thought Ben Affleck is a better director than actor, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because of all the things you just said. Ben Affleck is a Ryan Coogler, is a Christopher Nolan, is a Scorsese, is a Coppola. He's a filmmaker. You don't even see basketball played in that movie. like that is a complete, from start to finish, dialogue-driven story being told. It's all talking. It's all back and forth. You don't even see basketball in it. You don't, like you said, you didn't even see Michael Jordan or the guy playing Michael Jordan's face. But at no point ever do we even see basketball. But it's all about basketball. And so that is just pure story driven, dialogue driven, no big special effects, no crazy stuff. He's a true filmmaker, and you gotta love that. So I'm glad that you put that on the list. My number 2,
I would say like 60% of the movie is in that office building. I
yeah,
bet they just rented out that office building and just used it.
which says a lot to his talent, because when you can take minimal actors in one location,
Yeah.
and not have people lose attention, you're telling a great story, and he does that. He's a brilliant director, in my opinion. I really do think so. My number 2, I'm taking it back to yours. My number 2, which also got me fired up, Superman. And there's a simple explanation for me about why this one fires me up. It is the return of comic book in comic book movies. We got away from that. I think that's where we saw the fatigue, if you will. I don't ever buy into the fatigue, but the trouble with superhero movies over the last 7-8 years, and why there was success in the TV side with Daredevil, the Netflix series, right? Like the Netflix Marvel shows, or Arrow, or any of those. And you know why those worked? Because they were comic book things. And I feel like that's where the movies faltered a little bit, which made no sense to me, because that's where Marvel came out so strong. You watch that first Iron Man film, that's straight up comic book. That is like Iron Man right out of the comic book onto the screen. And they started to lose that. But Superman, this Superman, it's back. In fact, David Gordon Sweat said, no, put the fucking trunks on me. I want to wear the trunks on the outside. I want it to be a little comic booky. I want it to be a little campy, even though it's a serious film. And the bright colors, you've referenced this numerous times with Fantastic Four and these things. The colors, comic books are colorful. They're like in your, and I think that's what we were desperately missing. And this movie brings it back hardcore, slams it right back to and you've seen the influence. Look at the new Spider-Man. That is the most comic book accurate costume. The colors, the clanky web shooter, everything about that film. If you look at the new costume of Punisher in that film, we're going back to Savage Hulk in that film. I think it's all because James Gunn brought Superman, and Kevin Feige was in communication with Gunn the whole time about when he was making this film. They knew where Gunn was taking it, and they'd seen Peacemaker and all that, and I think Marvel learned from that. Remember, Gunn learned from Marvel, and now Marvel was learning from Gunn. We've got to bring the comic book back to comic book movies, and Superman did that. So that's why it's number 2 on my list. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's why Superman, the original, was so successful. It was a comic book movie. He looked like a comic book. That's what we've been missing. Now we've got it back. So let's keep plowing forward with that and just keep going.
Yes, completely agree. Completely agree. Well, now time for our number 1. And yes, I said our because
yeah.
it's the same freaking one. We are talking about Top Gun Maverick. I was worried. I thought we were never going back to the movie theaters again. Okay, well, this was a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. Okay, I thought we might have all died. But here we are, alive and well, no longer wearing masks, no longer wearing gloves, no longer afraid to be closer than 6 feet. And Top Gun Maverick, oh my gosh, guys. Like, it got me so super excited to go back to the theater. Every time the theater was open during the pandemic, we were fucking going. We weren't scared. Nothing was going to stop us from going to the theater. But like,
we sat 18 seats apart with masks on. We didn't care. It was like, let's go.
Exactly. But fucking Top Gun Maverick gave me hope and got me excited that people will still go to the movies. And still, we were talking about Paramount in the industry news, still Paramount's highest grossing film ever, which makes sense why the third one is a priority. But, I mean, it's better than the first one. I think that. I mean, we might even watch it tonight for our rewind night. But, like, it's such a great movie. It's got something for everyone. And yeah, there's not enough good things I can say about Top Gun Maverick. It's truly a 5 out of 5 film.
I would agree wholeheartedly. And look, anybody who's long been a fan of our show, anybody who's known me for any while, I have a lot of mixed thoughts on Tom Cruise. Okay. Yeah, right. But the one thing I admire, respect, and love about Tom Cruise is he is adamant about movies are meant to be seen in theaters. Yes. They are films, and they are meant to be seen big, with people, with crowds, and he has always been that way. I make movies for the screen, or I don't make movies. And that was exactly what he told Paramount. I will not make Top Gun Maverick unless we distribute it in theaters. My goal is to bring people back to theaters with this film, or I don't make it. And Paramount took the risk. They were like, okay, we're going to spend a shit ton of money on this movie and hope to God people show up. And they did. I would say that Top Gun Maverick is this generation's Jaws. It was the return of the blockbuster on screen. That's what it was. It showed that these type movies, these blockbuster tentpole type movies, can still draw a crowd, can still please people at the theater, can still fill seats, and it did it in every way possible. And it was the huge return of films in theater the way they're meant to be seen. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a no-brainer that this one fired us up, because it was like, theaters are not dead, movies are not dead. We still, this is, as a filmmaker, this is what you want. Don't get me wrong, I'll put anything on a streamer too, because I just want people to see it. But as a filmmaker, your ultimate goal is, it's the dream to see your shit up on the big screen. That's the whole goal of being a filmmaker. So the idea that there are still people out there that's what drives them, and that there are studios out there still willing to take that risk and make a movie like Top Gun Maverick. Yeah. How can you not get fired up for that?
Yeah, exactly. It's so good. I don't know if you've seen. I found this new interviewer that does press day stuff, and he's a younger guy, younger than me even, and he's been showing people his movie journal, and he showed Tom Cruise his movie journal, and
I saw that.
I
Yeah.
swear to you, Tom Cruise loved this kid more than his own children.
Yeah.
Like, he was so appreciative. He literally said he was honored. This is Tom Cruise saying this to this kid about a movie journal, about like the first time the kid saw Mission Impossible,
Right,
or
right.
something like that. But I'm like, it is crazy. Like, Tom Cruise is crazy.
Yeah,
Don't get
yeah.
me
No,
wrong.
yeah.
Like, he makes great movies though. But like, the love and passion and drive and determination that he has for movies is what I want to have for movies. So like, I that's the only reason why I love Tom Cruise, is because his passion and determination for movies. So I love seeing that. I love seeing him talk about movies, because that's the only thing he talks about, really, because he's not controversial. He doesn't talk about anything else. Like, I guess he was even invited to this freaking Trump thing at the Kennedy Center honorees or whatever, and he said he had scheduling conflicts because he doesn't want any bad
No,
press.
yeah,
Like,
no, yeah.
all he wants people to talk about with him is movies.
And
And I mean, he's doing it. I feel like he's doing a good job at it. Crazy motherfucker.
and he's consistent. I mean, remember, a lot of people don't realize he started extremely young. You know, you go
Yeah.
all the way back to Outsiders, and I mean, this was a young kid basically. And from day one, you watch interviews from him way back in the day, it's all about his love for film.
Yes.
He does this because he loves it. There's a reason why this man is almost, he's mid-60s now, right? Like,
Yeah.
and he's still doing his own stunts because he loves it. He wants it to be real. He wants it to be authentic for the audience. When you risk your life at that age because you want the audience to buy it, like, that is passion. And you gotta, whatever, think whatever you want about the guy personally, but when it comes from an industry standpoint, this guy loves film, and there's no arguing it. There's just no, Tom Cruise is film.
Yeah.
Like, period.
He is, man.
Yeah.
He is, and I gotta respect him for that. Well, we want to know, what is your favorite film that got you excited? Please be sure to leave it down in the comment section below. At us on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, all the good places. Please, please, please. We love the fan interaction. It's always super fun to talk about movies with you.
Yes.
That's what we love to do.